Hi, welcome to the Yobli's Grace with Iyobusa Favor Uhombamo. The title of my teaching today is Focus on God. Focus on the one who calls you. Focus on your maker because he never leaves you nor forsake you according to his word. Remember his word, he said, I have spoken and they will never return to me void. So there's a word that God has spoken about you, but it can only come to pass when you keep your focus on him. Never lose sight on God. He is the one that gave you life and he knows how to look after you and he will do whatever you are expecting him to do for you. In First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 24, he says, the one who calls you is faithful and he will do it. And that's what I've come to encourage you today, that he who calls you is faithful and he will do it. Because when you lose focus on God, you will lose direction. To refer to Matthew 14. When Jesus began to walk on the water, after Jesus sent his disciple away, I'm not just going to read it, read the whole of Matthew 14, or you can read from 22 down to 33. When Jesus sent his disciple into the boat away and he went to pray. At the time Jesus came back, the Bible told us that the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. So, but Jesus had to begin to walk on the water. When his disciples saw him, they were afraid. And they were wondering, who could he be? A ghost. But Jesus told them that it is I. It's Jesus. He said they should not be afraid. So they were marveled by this act. Especially Peter was thrilled by this act, like, could he? Jesus walking on the water. When Jesus first called us, when God first called us, most of us are like this, like Peter. When we see the activities of God, we see the handwork of God, we see the marvelous thing that he's doing through his son, and we are compelled to come to him because that's what he wants for himself, that we should be saved. We'll come to Christ. Remember, the wind had already been there. Remember, the wind had already been contrary even before Jesus called Peter. So these things, they are all there. But Jesus will not call you and say, come to me. When we come to him, we begin to walk with him. We begin to walk with him. At some point, because of these things that are happening around us, pressure from society, personal desires, a lot of things going on today, we'll get distracted and we'll begin to lose focus on Christ. But I've come to tell you that never lose focus on Christ. When Peter was walking in the book of Matthew 14:28, or I will read 29, because Jesus has bid him to come, because he said, if it is you, call me to come. And Jesus bid him to come, commanded him to come. So he said, come. And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to Jesus. Slowly walking on the water. This is what happened. When Jesus called you out of this world and called you to himself, you find out that you enjoy the relationship. You begin to walk with him. You get so excited and you're walking with him. And everything will just be going. It's not like there's no boisterous wind. It's not like there are no distraction. It's not like there are no pressure. It's not like there are no trouble. But you're walking with Christ. But when you take your sight away, you begin to sink. Something happened there in verse 30. Matthew 14:30 said, when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. When Christ has called you, take your eyes away from the wind. They had always been there like that. I have come to Christ now. Why are this going on? Why would this happen? There are a lot of things that are going on today. But if you are in Christ, remember he that called you. Focus on him. He will rescue you. That 30 again said, when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink. Then what did he do? He cried out saying, Lord, save me. There's something that really caught my attention in this chapter 30. He cried and said, Lord, save me. Many are crying to other gods today because the pressure of the world is becoming too much. They've always been there, but when you will lose sight of God, you begin to see them. Even when this distraction came, Peter was still on the track. He was still walking towards Jesus. Some of us, God has called us. We decide to walk another way like that. We walk another way like that. And when the wind becomes so boisterous, when this fear and all that come, when we are calling, when we get too far from Him, He cannot reach us immediately. You say, "Oh, God's eyes is on the earth. His hand are not too short." Yeah, it's true. But you have to be on track. Remember that Jesus, as Peter was going towards Jesus, he was going towards Jesus when the fear came in. But he called still on God. As soon as he called on Jesus, Jesus was able to save him immediately. That's why I've come to encourage you today. Don't go far away from God. The distraction again, and besides, the first thing is you don't even get distracted by the happenings in the world today, because they have always been there. They didn't just start, they have always been there. And the more intense it gets, the closer the end time is. So just get focused on God and do not take your focus away, because when you do, you begin to lose direction. I pray that the Lord will help us, even as we trust in Him, to remain focused on Him in Jesus' name.